Hey, my fellow B2B marketers. HubSpot research states that 52% of people say they're more likely to share video content than any other type of content. But what do we actually say in these videos? And what do we say in these videos to make them more likely to be shared? In this video, I'm going to walk you through a framework that will help you write better scripts for B2B marketing videos. Let's go. So we know that video is important, but writing scripts can be very challenging. Often it's hard to know even where to even begin, and just starting to write a script can take up a lot of time. I've been the CMO at two early stage B2B startups where I was the only marketer, so I can empathize when people say we don't have the time to make videos. And that can be due to a number of factors, which I'll talk about in some other videos, but scripts are a huge culprit when it comes to taking time. Tack on all the additional responsibilities that marketers are being tasked with and a greater push towards video for content marketing, and boom, you have yourself a I just can't win situation. And that is a valid feeling, but there's no getting around it. Video is a huge part of contemporary B2B marketing, and we simply have to figure out a way to get it done. Amidst all the statements of video takes too much time or I don't have the bandwidth, it's a subtle, hidden complaint of we don't currently have the knowledge to make videos efficiently. I've certainly struggled a lot with this too, but over the course of the 15 years or so that I've been making videos for businesses, I've adopted a framework that will make it a lot easier both to start as well as to actually create a great video script that's engaging and that helps you accomplish your goals. It cut my time from hours and even days at times to just a couple of hours. Sidebar, if you stay till the end, I'll give you a bonus tip for how to make the script writing process even more efficient and your scripts more effective. But why should you listen to what I have to say? I'm Brandon Ho, and I've been helping B2B and B2C companies with their marketing for over 20 years, and I've been making videos for more than 15. Most recently, I was either CMO or VP of marketing at 4 early stage B2B SaaS startups and was a solo marketer at 2 of them, which were both acquired. I've used this framework successfully over the years to use what little time I had more efficiently. Before we dive into the framework, let's first look at 3 critical questions that inform and shape every successful B2B video script. First, who's the audience for this video? Second, where are they in their buying journey? And third, what should they do after they watch the video? These are questions of vital importance as they allow you to go from having this nebulous, amorphous blob of an idea for a video into something that's more targeted and effective at getting your point across. Answer these questions honestly. Take your time. Getting the responses to these questions wrong can mean even more wasted time, or in the case of situations where you hire a professional video production company to create a beautiful, polished video for you, a lot of wasted money. B2B videos come in many forms: explainer videos, product demonstrations, case studies, thought leadership content. But regardless of type, they all need a solid script structure, and they can all benefit from this approach. This leads us to the framework I've used for a while. The C3PO framework. Yup, C3PO. The C3PO stands for context, problem, promise, proof, and offer. Let's break each element down. Context is the foundation upon which you build a script. Think of it as setting the stage for your story, the why, the who, the what. The benefits of providing context are: 1, you give the viewer information about who should watch this video, and 2, you let them know what this video is actually going to be about. These 2 things make it easy for your viewer to determine whether it's relevant to them or not, so they can avoid wasting time if it's not. By providing context, you also start to establish your credibility if the viewer hasn't heard of you before. In many cases, they won't have, or they just won't be that familiar with you. When you demonstrate that you understand the problem firsthand and know how challenging it is for the person facing the problem, the audience is more likely to trust you. What goes into this section? Let's look at an example. In fact, let's examine the script for the video you're currently watching as an example. I started off with Hey, my fellow B2B marketers. HubSpot research states that 52% of people say they're more likely to share video content than any other type of content. I do two things here. I make it explicit who my target audience is, B2B marketers, and I make a case for why video content is important to pay attention to using research from a reputable name in B2B marketing. I then go on to say, but what do we actually say in these videos, and what do we say in these videos to make them more likely to be shared? In this video, I'm going to walk you through a framework that will help you write better scripts for B2B marketing videos. In this section, I make it clear what you should expect to get by the end of this video, a framework that you can adopt to make script writing easier. So that's the context. What's next? Next comes the problem. This is where you articulate the pain point your audience is experiencing. The key is to be really tight and specific and examine three things. 1. Identify the problem that they currently face. Make it clear how the status quo is. Highlight why a change is necessary to prepare for the future. Going back to the video. So we know that video is important, but writing scripts can be very challenging. Tack on all the additional responsibilities that marketers are being tasked with and a greater push towards video for content marketing, and boom, you have yourself an I just can't win situation, but there's no getting around it. Video is a huge part of contemporary B2B marketing, and we simply have to figure out a way to get it done. In the promise section, you offer a solution to the problem. Your promise must accomplish a few things. 1. It has to be plausible. You can't afford to make a promise so insane that your viewer doesn't take it seriously. You'll immediately lose them. 2. It must directly solve the problem that you introduced in the previous section. Let's look at the promise section of this video. I've certainly struggled a lot with this too, but over the course of the 15 years or so that I've been making videos for businesses, I've adopted a framework that will make it a lot easier both to start as well as to actually create a great video script that's engaging and that helps you accomplish your goals. It cut my time from hours and even days at times to just a couple of hours. Okay, while it may seem like utter rubbish to say that writing a script can take days, if you've ever had to create one, you know that there are times when even starting can take a long time and can take up multiple days of an hour here, 2 hours there, etc. I also tell you in this section that I have a solution for you. Some of you may have noticed that I also set the stage for the next section here by referring to the fact that I've been making videos for businesses for over 15 years. This leads us to the next section. Proof. Check this section out. Most recently, I was either CMO or VP of marketing at 4 early stage B2B SaaS startups and was a solo marketer at 2 of them, which were both acquired. I've used this framework successfully over the years to use what little time I had more efficiently. I know that if you've watched the video this far, it's probably because you're a solo marketer or you are part of a super lean marketing organization. And if you are, then you can empathize with the situation that I was in. There is so much to do when you're a one-person B2B marketing team, and I had to be efficient in order to do all the other things I needed to do too, like write blog posts, conduct analyst relations, PR, social media, running paid search, signing up for and preparing for events, speaker submissions, website revamps, demand generation. And I think I've made my case here. And again, if you've watched this far, the proof is in the pudding. This framework works because you're still here, and I use this framework to write the script. The final section of the C3PO framework is the offer, and for me, it's contained here. This leads us to the framework I've used for a while, the C3PO framework. Yup, C3PO. The C3PO stands for context, problem, promise, proof, and offer. Let's break each element down. For this video, the offer is self-contained in that the offer is the video and the knowledge contained within. For you, the offer could be a call to action like try our AI video making tool free for 14 days, or take our recruitment software for a test run for 30 days with no credit card required. It could also be a summary of the benefits that your product or service offers. I don't really have an offer since I'm not trying to sell you a product or service, but if I stretch it a bit, I might say something like, if you follow this framework, you'll shave hours off of your video script writing process, and if you follow my bonus tips, you'll save yourself even more time and frustration. And those are the elements of the C3PO framework to help you write better scripts. And that, of course, leads me to the bonus tips I promised earlier. These 6 tips will make your script writing even more efficient and your scripts more effective. Tip number 1, use AI intelligently. Now first, I want to state definitively that this script was 100% written by the human who's reading this to you, me. But I'll say that AI can be extremely helpful in helping you formulate your thoughts and giving them more cohesion. While I didn't use AI at all for this video, I do sometimes use it to help me generate outlines for video scripts, and I encourage you to do the same. AI is extremely helpful in helping you overcome writer's block by providing a starting point that allows your human creativity to flourish and your unique expertise to shine through. Tip number 2, script like you talk, because you're going to be talking the script. You don't want your script to sound like it was written for a blog post because that tone is very different. I personally accomplish this by actually dictating my script. Here again, I use an AI tool to transcribe my dictation to text. Yes, I actually talk out my script instead of typing it out. Now, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, type out your script, then go back and read it out loud. This step will help you make adjustments to your scripts that will make it sound more natural. Once I have a rough draft, I go in manually to make edits, which is the perfect segue to the next tip. Tip number 3, edit, 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 and edit again. Be merciless. Don't be enamored with what you've written if it doesn't add to the script. A very simple rule of thumb, if it doesn't add, it detracts, so subtract it. Tip number 4, get your organizational ducks in a row before you start. Now, this is kind of a hidden gem of a tip because while everything I've talked about so far has been related directly to actually writing a script, there can be a lot of time wasted in the back and forth between you and whoever's signing off on the script. Whether that's your CEO, the person you report to, the SME who's going to be delivering the script on the video, a customer. It doesn't matter. You need to make sure that every step from the topic to the outline to the first draft is signed off on, and that you're all in agreement at the inception of the video project as to who the relevant stakeholders are and what the expectations around their turnaround times are. Try your best to limit the number of people involved, as the entire project can get derailed if too many people are involved. This is a potential source of massive time suck, and you can limit it by being proactive in how you handle it. Tip number 5, keep your video focused on transmitting one key message. Trying to cram multiple messages into a single video waters it down, and nobody will remember the points you're trying to make. Tip number 6, include stories if possible. In this video, I related stories of how I've been in your position struggling for time. You likely have similar stories to tell, whether it's in your company's origin stories when the founders struggled with the challenge that they then went on to solve for, or stories of your customers struggling with the problem that you swooped in to help them fix. Stories resonate and capture the imagination and make your video more memorable. So there you have it, a framework and some bonus tips that speed up your B2B video script writing and that will take your videos to the next level. If you want to learn more about B2B content marketing, check out the video that's on screen now or the ones that I've linked to down below.